Okay, tribe, here's what's going on in the kitchen today. Yeah, it's the middle of summer. Actually, it's the end of July, so it's going to be super hot out. But I'm going to make a soup that I think is going to be fine, either hot or cold. So it's going to be a combination of celery, and I'm going to use a lot of celery, and cauliflower, and I'm going to use that whole head of cauliflower. Got a couple of carrots here for flavor, an onion. I've got some more celery back here. This is actually homegrown celery. I'd love to say it came from my garden, but actually it came from my next door neighbor's garden, as did this giant zucchini. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by cutting up the zucchini, the fresh celery, and maybe a little bit extra, and I'm going to saute that just to get it softened up a little bit, but not actually cooked. And then I'm going to remove that and add in all the rest of the ingredients, cook them down into the soup, and then, immersion blend that to make it creamy. And then once that's done, I'll add the chopped vegetables back in, so there'll be a little more texture there. So for seasoning, we're going to be using some coconut milk and salt, pepper, and dill, and a little more water for the vegetables, to make the soup base. And that's it. Pretty simple. So I'll show you the next step when everything's chopped and ready to go. Okay, guys, we've got everything ready to go. And one of the points I wanted to make, I know a lot of people have maybe a little anxiety about their ability to be able to cook effectively. And so one of the things I always keep in mind is I may start off with one idea and it may segue a little bit as time goes by. So in this case, I've actually decided to make a little bit of a change from what I was originally going to do. Let's take a look at where we are right now. So here are the changes. First of all, I decided to add the juice of a lemon. I'm not going to put that in until after the soup base itself cooks. But when I was taking the cauliflower florets apart, I decided to go ahead and chop up the rest of the stalks. And again, a little more tooth kind of substance, that's bad language, a little more kind of crunch rather than just creamy soup when this is all said and done. And I decided to go ahead and saute the carrots in with the onions, which will be the first step after we get these guys going. So I've got some olive oil in the pot right now, and we're gonna dump all of these veggies in. So that's gonna go for a couple of minutes. Again, I don't wanna cook them completely. I just wanna soften them up just a little bit. You can see we're making really good progress here so far. These are going to go for just about one more minute, and then I'll dump them back out again so that we can start on the soup base itself. And, oh, by the way, I also typically do not measure things very precisely, so I said I was starting with that entire zucchini. I actually wound up only using about a third of it. So here are all our sauteed veggies, and now we've got the onions and carrots going in here. And they'll take us a couple minutes. I just want to get the onions kind of translucent. So we'll let those go for a couple of minutes. And remember, if you're eating in the spring season, you can completely eliminate the carrots because, of course, root vegetables would not be appropriate if you're in deep spring. But everything else here is pretty spring friendly. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about and want to know more, ask me about how to eat seasonally, regardless of what season the climate is in at the moment. It's been pretty amazing journey that I've been discovering for some time now, and I'd be delighted to talk with you about it. So we're going to give that just a couple more minutes, and then we just dump in the rest of the veggies, add the seasonings, a little more water, and then we're just going to pop it on and cook it for about 15 minutes under pressure. Stay tuned. The onions and carrots finished. You can see they're nice and translucent. Most of them are on the bottom, actually. And then I just dumped in all the vegetables and added the can of coconut milk and about 2 more cans of water. And as you can see, I did not quite come up to the level of the vegetables. I like my soups really thick and creamy, so that's the way I left it. And then here we've got a little over a tablespoon of dill, about 1.5 teaspoons of Himalayan pink rock salt, and about 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. We're going to just dump all that in, and now we're going to give it a stir, and then we'll be ready to turn it on and cook it for about 15 minutes. So that's all there is to that. We're going to go ahead and get this turned on. We're using high pressure for about 15 minutes on manual. You can use the soup setting. I find that, it's got all these extra settings and stuff, but for the most part, I pretty much just wind up using manual. And it doesn't matter if this is like perfectly stirred up or not, because it's all going to get blended at the end. So there we go, some beautiful looking veggies. We'll go ahead and stick the lid on here. Make sure that you're set to sealing, and then press the button for manual. And I'm gonna bring that down to 15. Yeah, 16, good enough. 15. I'm getting hungry. All right, I'll see you when it's done. So we were cooking under pressure for 15 minutes, and then it took about 5 or 6 minutes for the pressure to release. So all I did was give it a quick stir after I squeezed in the juice of 1 whole lemon. And by the way, I like lemon in soup because it really brightens it up. But I usually wait until after the soup itself is cooked because I don't want the acid interfering with or altering the other flavors that I'm looking for in the flavor profile. So there's a little hint there. And next up, we're going to stick in the stick blender. I don't think I can do this. I don't think it's going to be noisy, but let's see. Yeah, that's pretty noisy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and blend this all together, and then we dump the vegetables back in, and we'll give it a taste once we do that. So let's give it a taste and see if we need to adjust for seasonings or anything. I think this is going to be hot. That's really good. I think the pepper and the dill are just right, but I think I'm going to want to add some more salt. When you're using Himalayan pink rock salt, it doesn't give you the salty flavor that you get from using the stuff that comes in the blue can that is basically an industrial waste byproduct. So I tend to use a lot more of that than I do of other types of salt, including sea salt. And actually, as I have the second taste, I think I'm going to let this just sit for a little while and cool down. And it may be okay. Bet you wish you could have a taste. Well, you can. All you have to do is make the recipe. You see how easy this is. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, give me a like. You might want to subscribe to the YouTube channel and get more videos like this. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And we'll see what's cooking next. Have a great day.